What's up, 7.3 family? It's Brandon here with the 7.3 Garage. Quick update on the truck. It's not a good update. I mean, it's a good update, but it's not a good update, and you'll see why in just a second here. This is how the truck has been sitting for the past week or so, so check this out. So I got the truck in the garage, and it looks like this. It's broken. But, hear me out for just a second. It's broken, but it didn't go down like a glorious break. So I will talk about that in just a few minutes here. Long story short, I spun bearings of some sort. Look at that rhymed. So I spun bearings, I don't know which until I get the motor out yet, but I'm going to talk about how I'm getting this engine out of here, what I've done so far, show you some parts and things that I've gotten out and some techniques real quick, and what I will have in store for this truck in the next couple of weeks / months. I hate to say the word months, but that is more realistic for my time frame right now. So let's start talking about some stuff. Okay, so last week, driving home from a friend's house, minding my own business, doing 45, 50 miles an hour, converters locked up, overdrive. I change lanes, all of a sudden the truck starts shaking, banging, making all kinds of craziness under the hood, pull into a parking lot, shut it off, and it's done. I didn't even attempt to restart it. I knew something was really broken in this thing. So called the tow truck. Tow truck driver was awesome. Actually backed the tow truck while I don't have the garage open. Actually backed the tow truck up onto the driveway, and I was able to roll the truck off the flatbed into the spot that it sits right now. So that guy was awesome. He actually hooked me up big time. So thanks to the AAA driver. You guys are awesome, and that driver was awesome. So basically what got me to this point here, and this is just a theory, but I'm very confident in this theory. I'm not the one to call shots at people or badmouth people, so I'll stay pretty generic with names here. But I basically had a dual high pressure oil system on the truck last year. While racing, the gear lash got thrown off somehow. It was on my part. It was totally my mistake. When I installed it, I didn't do it the right way. It was my first time doing gear lash on a setting for gears, so we'll talk about that so you guys have an idea what that is. But I ended up grinding down the high pressure oil drive gear, and it loaded my oil system with metal. So changed the oil for a couple weeks, about 4 or 5 times, had big magnets on the pan, the whole nine, trying to get the metal out of the oil. And I believe, I shouldn't say believe, I'm confident that the metal in the oil led to the demise of this engine. So let's go over to the truck and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so just a quick anatomy lesson, if you will. So 7.3 Powerstrokes are a Huey style engine. So basically that means it's hydraulically and electronically actuated unit fuel injector fuel. That's what Huey basically stands for. So you have a high pressure oil pump that sits right in the front of the motor. It's attached to the front engine cover here, and it's basically spun. There's a gear on the crankshaft that has a similar appearance to the high pressure oil drive gear. A cam gear, which the computer sees, but your cam sensor is down here, basically sees the timing of the engine, and your high pressure oil drive gear, which is spun by the lower 2 gears that spin and deliver your high pressure oil to each head. That's basically the way that it works. So a dual high pressure oil pump kit creates a larger volume of oil, volume and pressure for that matter, and sends it to the larger fuel injector so it can support a hotter tune. So the larger you go on a fuel injector, the more oil it's going to require. So, I hope everybody's still with me. So I had the high pressure oil pumps set up, but you have to set gear lash. So if everyone can see how this kind of has a little bit of play in it, that's lashed, it's gear lash. It's designed to have a little bit of play between the teeth and how deep the teeth are basically pushed together. So you have to set gear lash. Never set gear lash in my life. I believe that's what led to this demise of this. So here is the old high pressure oil drive gear. This is my original one. But as you can see, it's the same thing. And, well, it's not the same. It's the same gear, but it doesn't look the same at all. But you can see how, hopefully that focuses for you guys. But you can see how torn up this gear is. This absolutely, and the missing teeth, I was racing when this happened actually. It sounded like someone threw a handful of bolts in the front of the engine. But this is 100% what happened. So I came home after I had the truck off the tow truck, let it cool down, pull the plug on the oil. I'll go over here and show you what that looked like. Basically, if you have spun bearings in any engine, it's going to look like copper. The bearings have a copper undercoating, if you will. And that's basically what I saw. I hope everyone can see that. Let me try and, yeah, there we go. All this is not good. That is all bearing material. All that copper, no good. So which bearings did I spin? I don't know. I'm gonna have the engine out here hopefully in the next couple of days or next week. But I basically have the whole thing prepped. I got the core support off here. This is gonna be all this part of the wiring harness is gonna take a little bit of finagling to get around when I get the hoist up in here to pull the engine out. But it's basically ready to come out. I gotta just unbolt the starter, undo the motor mounts, and pull it off the transmission. It's basically ready to come out. Did not want to be in this situation again. It's only been 3 years since I rebuilt the last engine, but here we are, that's life, and we're gonna move on from it and we're gonna be bigger and better. All right, so as you can see, I got all my parts here in the back. It really wasn't that hard to get off, but I basically have everything organized back here. I got the bumper in the house. I got all my hardware, everything is all labeled in bags here. I like to stay neat. If anyone's gonna be tackling this project, it's always a good idea. I got oil on my fingers. It's always a good idea to make sure that you keep everything organized and labeled, so when you're going to put it back together, there's not a lot of head scratching and where does this go talk going on. So that's basically where we're at. So motors should be coming out in the next couple days, next week or so. And that's basically where it's at the moment. I hate seeing it like this, and it sucks that I can't drive it, but with some of the things that I got coming up for it and some of the ideas, I think you guys are really gonna like. So let's talk about some of that. All right, so ever since I rebuilt this engine 3 years ago, I've always wanted to have a set of connecting rods in it. I've always dreamed of having a truly built 7.3. It's just something I've always liked. I like the engines, I like the trucks. I've seen the power that they can make, and it's pretty impressive. So it's something I've always dreamed of, and this kind of was a forced upgrade, if you will. It wasn't something I was saving for and hoping to happen. It kind of just happened. I was expecting something bad to happen within the next 2 or 3 years, if you will. After I knew that the metal was in the oil system, I knew I wasn't gonna get away that easily. But you know, these things happen, and this is where we are. So back to the drawing board. So a couple things that I'm doing with this time. I like to do an engine girdle. For those of you that don't know what an engine girdle is, basically it ties all the main cap bearings together to strengthen the bottom end. For high horsepower applications, nitrous, which I'm not gonna get crazy yet, but I'm considering maybe a nitrous kit in the future, but not anything close to this time frame right now. I wanna do connecting rods. I'm gonna do some headwork, port and polish, and I'm gonna like to do a cam in this thing as well. That's something that I've been looking forward to doing, and you can make a lot of power with good port and polish on the heads and a real nice cam setup with some good tunes. What that means is I can upgrade my turbocharger. I'm gonna keep that on the down low for right now. I have a couple options out there, but still kind of make up my mind, but I'll keep you guys updated on my turbo selection here coming up pretty soon. It is hot out here. Sorry for all the glistening sweat on my face. So with a port and polish, sorry, I had to get back on my train of thought here. With a port and polish on the heads and a cam, this truck or this motor with these injectors with a serious set of tunes should be able to spool up any turbocharger that I want. Some people may be wondering horsepower goals. Anywhere that the setup that I'm considering, I've been told by a couple people, is anywhere between the neighborhood of 700 to 800 horsepower on fuel. That is a complete guess. I have not even thought about what other things I'm gonna have to do with this thing to get it to that point, but that is a rumored number, if you will, from just people that I've spoken to, and something that I'm hoping for. If I could have a truck that makes 700 or 800 wheel, or between, I should say, 700 and 800 wheel horsepower on fuel as a daily driver and be reliable, that is the best bang for your buck in my, best bang for your buck in my book, a lot of B's. So I'm hoping that will be the case with me. But again, we will, as this starts to play out and I get to talk to some more people about some options here, we will really see what direction this truck is going to go. But I'm very excited about it, and I want to share the experience with everybody. So if you guys have questions, you know where to find me. But we will make sure everyone is on the same page, and I will share with you guys when I get parts, anything that comes in. I'll try to do more videos. I've updated a couple of these apps that I've been using to film with, so we'll see how that goes. But we will make sure everyone is on the same page during this whole rebuild process. So that is all that I have for this one. There's a good shot of the truck in the garage, but it's a sad look, but it's back at the drawing board for me for now. So we'll see then again the next couple weeks here where we're going to be at, but I will make sure I keep everybody in the loop.
Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. There's a whole list of things. But if you like the page, share it with your friends. Please ask me questions. I'm still learning. If you guys have any more information about things that I should look out for, please drop them in the comments below. I'm always happy to learn new pieces of information about these things. So with that being said, that's all I have. This is the 7-3 Garage. I'm Brandon. I will see you next time.